The national government is not broke and will continue to invest in major infrastructure and developments. This was the assurance from the Treasury Secretary, Diary Vele. Mr. Vele says despite critics, the government has performed exceptionally well over the last 2 years to build this country into the future. He says the challenge now is to prioritise spending on key areas in order to control unnecessary expenditure. Mark Kayok reports.
The national government is not broke as described and indicated by critics. The government's decision to borrow and invest in major infrastructure and developments was a concise decision because of anticipated revenues in future to build this country. Treasury Secretary Diary Vele says the government has performed exceptionally well to build this nation.
So again, Prime Minister, to the critics of this government, we would like to say that this government has performed extremely well.
Secretary Vele says the microeconomic performance is being managed well, giving a thumbs up on the inflation rate, which is below 6%, and provides opportunities for private sectors to expand their businesses.
This is the first government to decentralise the spend. We are allowing the provinces, the districts and the local level governments to identify their problems. We are giving them the opportunity to address their problems.
Mr. Vele says for the first time this government has decentralized spending, allowing provinces and districts to identify their problems and providing them with resources to solve their problem.
We can't just rely on our petroleum and mining, which is what we've been doing in the medium term. We need to focus on our forestry, on our fisheries, on our agriculture, on our tourism.
He says the greatest challenge is to diversify our revenue base, concentrating on our vast resources apart from mining and petroleum. The Treasury Secretary says the challenge now is to prioritize spending on key areas in order to control unnecessary expense.
We need to focus on what the budget has given us. We need to reprioritize our project plans so that we're focusing on what's been given to us and not what we want. It's when we focus on what we want and not what we've been given, when the funds aren't there, the funds were never there, and then we rush to the newspapers and give this wrong impression that the government is not broke. If you stick to your budget as been allocated in 2016, you will find that life will be much, much easier for yourselves.
Mr. Vele has called on all ministers and members of parliament to submit their cash flow profile to the Office of Treasury to help utilize government funds. Mark Kayok, NBC National News, Port Moresby.